hear me. Fausto and I could hear each other for a minute, and then it shut off again. Well, shuzzbutts. Now I've got to... There it is. Okay. Okay. All right.
Give me one second, ladies and gentlemen. I want to do a quick audio check. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? This is Fausto. All right, just trying to get something set up because I can't hear Steve. Give me a second.
All right, well, I'm going to... Fausto, as you know, has been a bandit from the 90s, so he's got some very interesting insights on his trading, so I'm going to step out here since he can't hear me and let him go. So, Fausto, if you can't hear me, welcome to the Candlestick Forum again.
All right, then, if Steve's going to let me take over, then I'll go and like he said, I guess we're having quick audio problems. But I guess I'll pick up from here. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Just give me a chat back if everybody can hear me okay. Rod, you can hear me loud and clear? Rudapito, Max? Excellent, sounds great. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the opportunity. It's always a privilege to talk on behalf of being here with Steve Bigelow from Candlestick Forum. I'd like to thank Pat Johnson and everyone else for making this possible. It's always been a pleasure to actually come on and talk to everyone here and educate all of you, because that's what we are. We are educators. And the key about trading is I'm going to teach you exactly the profession, teach you what it takes to be a professional trader. Now, before I get started, is there any students out there of mine, just out of curiosity, any of my students? Here, I know that Max, hey Max, good to see you again. Max Sharp, good to see you. And have any of you ever seen me do speaking before? Is it the first time? Is this the fifth time? Just out of curiosity, I do a lot of these events. First time, see you several times, Art. Okay, well, thank you. Cookie, several times, first time? A lot of first ones? Third time. All right, good, good. Numerous times. Well, that's great. That's great. And you know what? Every one of these webinars are always different, and the thing is that I'm going to teach you the art of trading. So let me just get a couple of things here squared away, and let's move on. First of all, just a quick little disclaimer. I have to make our attorneys happy, obviously. Just remember that there is a very big degree of investing, big risk of investing, so please, if you want to know more about it, visit our website at Cybertrade University, and we have a full disclaimer on our homepage of our website. Now, what we're going to talk about, the things we're going to learn. Well, I'm going to teach you and talk about trading in the pre-market and after-market hours. By the way, did all of you see the great winner in Tesla, the stock Tesla yesterday? The electric car company, actually the founder is right here about 5 miles away from my office here in New York. I mean, it was a great move, big move yesterday. Forget about what happened today. A lot of it happened yesterday. I'm going to talk about that. Up 14 was up. Actually, Gary was up 17, 18 points today. And it was up 10 in the pre-market. And a lot of the aftermarket and pre-market stuff we're going to talk about. Identifying key price movements and pivot points. Learning discipline and avoiding overtrading. We'll talk about all this stuff. Knowledge exactly the best time to trade. Dealing with ECNs and market maker techniques. Finding the right stock to trade. And spot market maker traps and much, much more. So, a lot to cover. We got about an hour. I'm going to do the best that I can to kind of cover all these things. I know this is being recorded, so you will go back and be able to review it. So a lot of great stuff we're going to cover. And before we get started, I just want to kind of give you a little quick introduction of who I am and why I'm here, and why Steve's a very good friend of mine and having me talk on behalf of the great audience that he put together today. I founded the company back in 1995. It's almost 20 years. And I basically am one of the original, what they call AK Souls Bandits, one of the original day traders that started. Born and raised here in New York, the financial capital of the world. And basically, just to let you know, I was trained by some of the best traders in the world being here in New York. Now, how I got into education, a lot of people always ask me, and they say, Fausto, how did it all come about? Well, honestly, trading is a part-time job. It really is. And I started when I was like 22 years old, and I basically started training people at 24 because I was kind of semi-retired, honestly. I was only trading about an hour a day, and I had a lot of time on my hands, and people kept asking me, could you teach me how to trade? And that's how I got into it. And for some of you who don't know this, I'm also a 12-time champion at the Traders Challenge held by the Traders Expo and the Money Show. Every school that I competed against, I beat every single one of them. So, and I'm going to tell you why. So, as much as being a champion and beating every school, one of the things you're going to learn today is how is that even possible? How did you actually do it? And you know what you're going to learn today? You're going to learn that trading is so simple and so easy, and that some of you are making things so much more complicated than what it is, and some of the most important tools that you need you're not even using. And that's what we're going to cover. So, now that you know a little bit about myself and about Cyber Trade University, now I have a question to ask all of you. Now, if everybody could just be so kind and give me a chat back and let me know, what kind of trader is everyone here? Are you a stock trader, forex trader, options trader, day trader, swing trader, question mark, garbage man, teacher, whatever it is? A lot of stock traders, okay? Options, swing, stock swing options, okay? Day trading futures, stocks and options. Okay, just really quick about the options. For some of you that are options traders, I want you all to be aware that it's the movement of the stock that makes the option move. So if you want to be a really, really good options trader, just make sure you need to know how to trade the stock first. All right, now let me tell you right off the bat, 50% of people fail in trading is because having the wrong brokerage account. Now, there are two different types of brokers. There are online brokers and direct access brokers. Online brokers, I don't know if anybody here knows the difference, but online brokers to me are like public transportation. They're going out there, they're driving your own car, they're, basically, instead of driving your own car, they're the ones driving you around. It's like taking the bus, the train, and the way they do it, let me just get my crayons out here. Hold on one second. Let me get my little pointer. There we go. Now, basically what you're doing is you're sending an email. Yeah, exactly, like a Scottrade. And there's nothing wrong with them, Bill. I mean, I have an account with Scottrade. But if you are an active trader, day trader, professional swing trader, you can't win the Indy 500, going to the local car dealership and buying a Camaro. It just ain't going to happen. So, one of the big things is that you need to have the right brokerage account. And, everyone here is a case-by-case basis, so please don't tell me, Fausto, what do you think of this company? There he goes. There's KB. What do you think Interactive Brokers or this one or TradeStation? Every one of you, depending on what kind of trader you are, do you trade specifically stocks? Do you trade options in stocks? Do you trade futures? They're all different. But you should know the difference between one versus the other. And online brokers, what they do is they go out there and they basically are trading against you. They're basically going out there, buying it on the bid, selling it to you on the offer, selling your orders through payment for order flow, which is about 80% of the profit. And you can see a little bit of a diagram right here of how things get routed. Do you ever notice that whenever you do a trade, do you notice that sometimes you don't get executed immediately? I have a Scottrade account. I kind of laugh. I always wonder why they email me they always email me, of my confirmation. And then all of a sudden, for some of you who ever see me trade live, you could see, boom, your order gets out immediately. You see your order. And that's the big difference. when you're dealing with direct access, and by the way, I don't work for brokerage firms. Okay, remember, I work for you. I am you could be your mentor. All right, I'm just telling you that there's a major difference where you know the difference from driving a car and dealing with public transportation. Big, big difference. Where direct access located? Well, a lot of brokerage firms offer direct access. I mean, you have Schwab even has it with their direct trade. Trade Station, Thinkorswim, Lightspeed. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, but some of them aren't. You know, having an account at Goldman Sachs is not going to happen. You know, remember they trade against you. So the first thing that you have to hurdle is just make sure you know the difference. You know, call your brokerage firm. This is what you should do for homework tomorrow. Call your brokerage firm and ask them and say, is my account direct access, or are you an online broker? And if you guys want to know the difference, which I'm going to invite all of you to watch me trade live, I will teach you all what it's like to trade live in the market. You know, so if you want to go out there and you want to see, I'll be happy to do that. Okay, I'm going to invite all of you to come back and watch me trade. What it's like to trade and put a real professional trade out there versus an online broker, which, by the way, is 50% of the failure rate. Now, let's talk about the other 50% of the failure rate. Now, you have to understand, you know, I'm not trying to be negative, but traders, you have to look at it. This is a business. And when you go into a business, you always look at risk. There's always risk. So when I'm telling you, I've spoken in front of over the years, hundreds of thousands of people. I've spoken to so many of you, and I know what you went through. I've been there, I've done that, and believe me, a lot of you are exactly the same. Actually, a lot of you are a lot smarter because you're here. I mean, there are people, there's tens of millions of people trying to trade and trying to find that crystal ball out there. Well, being here hopefully is going to give you the advice to make you realize where are your mistakes. First, brokerage firms. Second biggest problem, now you have a brokerage account, now it's having the right tools. So, tools are very, very important. Number one, 5 important tools to have on the window. First thing, level 2. Second, time and sales. Third, ECN book, which is called Total View. Number 4, real-time charts. And number 5, top 20% movers. Okay, a top mover list. Now, out of those 5, could everyone tell me how many do you have on your execution system that you're trading? 5 out of 5? 4, 1, 2, 0. Cookie, you got 5. 1. Frank, you got 5. Becky, you got 2. Ed, you got 4. 1, 1. Few 5s here. Okay. Steve, you got 0. Tony has 0. Jane has no idea. You know what, Jane? I'm very proud of you. That's very good that you're being honest. And I'm going to go through these. All right, now, for the ones that don't have 5, which one are you missing? Which is the one that you're missing most of all? ECN? The third, ECN, Total View? Okay. All right, well, let me explain something to you. Total View it is the most important window of the whole execution system. You guys ever hear, does anyone have any idea what high-frequency trades are? Anybody here have an idea what are high-frequency trades? Can anybody tell me from your experience? Do you know? Algorithms, computer trades? Not exactly, France. Computer trades, okay. Hedge funds, okay, Gary's on the right page. Algorithms and high-frequency trades are totally different. It's where the institutions trade. Very good. Do you guys know how much volume high-frequency trades control the market? Take a guess. How much percent do you think high-frequency trades control the market? I wouldn't say 99. It's actually about 70%. So whoever said 70, that's you hit the nail right in the head, okay? Now, what is it worth to you for me to tell you right now that I am going to teach you where 70% of those orders are? How valuable is that to you, to your everyday trading? Think about it. Wouldn't it be nice to see where those high-frequency trades are? Well, that's why Steve Bigelow has me here. Level 2 in total view. High-frequency trades are basically what we call, when I first started, it's called where the institutions trade. That's where all the Instinet orders are. Now, once again, remember something. I was a market maker. Okay, when you watch the New York Stock Exchange, you ever watch CNBC? And you know when they show the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and you see all those traders running around. You ever see those screens behind them? What they're looking at is orders. Okay, that's what I'm about to show you right now. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, before I even get to the high frequency trades, one last thing I want to teach you, and I'll ask all of you. How do stocks go up and down in the market? How does anything go up and down in the market? You should all be able to answer this question. See, everybody, listen, there are almost 500 people here. You should all be able to answer this. Supply and demand. That's right. Supply and demand. Does anyone disagree? So what I'm about to show you where the supply and demand is, which is the high frequency trades. Now, would you say 100 shares would make make a demand? No, not really. How about 1,000? Maybe not. But you see right here, $41.35, 14,800 shares. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what's called a high-frequency trade. That's where the institutions are putting their limit orders. Those are those algorithms. They're not the algos. Algos are something a little bit different, which, I'll talk about. That's another conversation itself. But these are where all the big orders are. You see, on the left is level 2. On the right is total view. I like to call it level 3. I actually did a presentation here in New York, and NASDAQ, the exchange themselves, they were actually educating people about total view. And it's funny because we're like one of the only schools in the industry that educate people on it. And if you go to NASDAQ, they'll even tell you, if you want to learn about, trading the market, it's funny because I was sitting in the back and listening to them, and the presenter was saying, oh yeah, you want to learn about total view? The guy right behind you, Fausto Pugliese from Cyber Trading. And he was going through this in detail, and you have to look at it. It's almost like common sense. Look at it. Big, big orders. Now, let me show you how to use it towards a chart. Does everybody see this up here right here? Let me get my crayons. Hold on. Everybody see that right there? And hold on. Okay, good. See this right here, this line right here? Okay, what you're seeing is support, resistance, support, support, resistance. Everybody see those bars? You know what the bottom of the candle bar is? What's the bottom of a candle? Or the bottom of a pivot point? It's the low, which is where the buyers are. They're supporting it. It's the wick. And the top of the bar is the resistance. That's where the big sellers are. Now, what makes these supports and resistance levels, ladies and gentlemen? Can you all answer this? It's a very simple question. Trades, okay, good, Ron. Anyone else? Supply and demand, orders. Now, do you see any orders on a chart? Anybody see any orders out there? I don't see any orders out there. I just see previous history, right? But when you look down here, you notice that when you get to $2.28, which is right here, that will probably explain that big seller right there. And you see that resistance levels right there? That probably would explain why there's a 6,000 share seller out there. I mean, does 100 shares really scare you that would make it a resistance? I mean, what's more of a predominant order, 100 or 6,000? I mean, it's almost common sense, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one. That is resistance. This is support. You could see it clear as day. Those are the pivot points. Those are where and you can even see resistance levels here. Now, what makes these supports and resistance levels? Not the 300 share buyer, not the 500 share, not the 100 share. But right when you get around these $8 price range, and you're like, well, where does these orders come from? No, it's not just Frank. It's not just the 10,000. Look over here between 803 to 799. You're talking almost 20,000 shares, limit orders out there looking to be bought. Now, I know we saw some orders up here. You could see maybe those guys getting taken out, but you're talking about maybe, 2,500 shares? But you could see the orders, ladies and gentlemen. You could see them. And this is what my mentors taught me. They say, Fausto, if you had the opportunity, and by the way, you might hear all this talk about these high-frequency trades. This has been going on since day one, since I've started. They used to call it Instant. Now they call it Total View. This was a hidden order when I originally started. Now, now it's public. Phil, it's not done on Scottrade. It's not done on Scottrade. Which, by the way, this is what I want you guys to do for homework. All right? I want you to write this down, call your brokerage firm, and ask them if they carry it. TOS doesn't have it. Great company. I do a lot of education for them. But what you're going to need to do is, I know they don't carry it. You're going to have to go to the exchange and get it, which is no big deal. And you got to remember, there's a lot of reasons why they don't want to carry it. And I'll tell you one of the main reasons. You think they want to show you what they're doing? I mean, if they tell you what they're doing, how are they going to make money on you? See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Is this what you want? You want somebody who's going to trade against you? Then with you? Remember, those baby commercials, they're pretty cute on the Super Bowl, but they don't make you money. TradeStation does have it, yes. And there's a lot of them that have it. But you need to know how to play the game. And I know that, charts are very easy to read, but you ever really stop and think about it? Like, where does this order come from? I mean, why did it stop at 3150? Like, where did it come from? It's like almost common sense. You sound like a hero. But when you really think of that, why? Why that order? Was it Mr. Fibonacci? Was it Mr. Bollinger? Was it Mr. 200 moving averages? No, it was if you look right here, hold on, sorry about that. There was literally almost 50,000 shares looking to be bought between 31.46 to 31.53, which is right there. Which is right there to the top. And by the way, we didn't get started yet. This is only the beginning. This is what opened up my eyes. Now, understand something. Before I was a very successful trader, and believe me, I didn't become 12-time champion by mistake. I was also a very big loser. I blew up many accounts, and believe me, I thought education was expensive. Trust me, ignorance is a lot more expensive. All right? And I went out there thinking that, you know what, I can go out there and be self-taught. I don't need to learn. I don't need someone to teach me. I'll figure it out on my own. How hard is it? I watch CNBC. I hit the buy, I hit the sell. I see what they're talking about. I read my invested business daily over the weekend. No, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that easy. If it was easy, we would all go out there and be making money, and it's an actually very big failure rate. And this is why I have such a passion to teach. This is why Steve Bigelow has a passion to teach, because we're tired of seeing people lose money for ignorance. Trading is not hard. This is just basic 101. Forget it. I didn't even teach you the other stuff. But if you believe that supports and resistance levels are built by supply and demand, then you better know this stuff first. And this will help you out, make things so much more easier. Well, listen, regardless about other companies, and, I don't want to bash anyone. It's not good business to do that. But you have to understand is that, yes, by the way, Jonathan, there is actually total view for options. A lot of people didn't even know that either, which, it could help you out also on that. Look at the value there. I mean, how awesome is it to know that you could see orders? Now, I'm going to teach you one strategy, okay? Listen carefully. Let's get back to the basics. The stock right now, and by the way, I know some of you have been taking courses with me and probably know the answers, so please don't give up the answers. But let's have some fun here, okay? The stock right now is trading at $16.09. What should happen at this price, ladies and gentlemen? What would you think? Looking at what you know from the chart and everything else, what should the stock do? You think it should go up? Should it go down? Should it be flat? What do you think? Andy says it's going to bounce. Tony said it's going to go up. Anyone else? Be honest. Listen, don't. It's going to go up. It's going to bounce. It's going to bounce, go up. Randy says go up. Max says go up. Andrew, what do you think? It's going to go up. Demand on demand. Down, up, up, up. Few downs. Okay, now, why do you think that, now listen, I'm going to point blank. Why do you think it's going down, and why do you think it's going up? For the ones that says it's going up, why did you think it was going up? And for the ones that said it's going down, why do you think it's going down? Yeah, you know what? That crystal ball is not really going to happen. You know what? You better throw that crystal ball out of where you found it. A black candle, roll the dice. You see, now, what you guys are saying is like, listen, and I'm just being honest. I mean, I take this very seriously. I don't know about you, but I don't like to drink and drive. That's gambling. Trading, people says it's gambling. Yeah, it's gambling when you don't have control. You should know why it is and why it isn't. See that right there, ladies and gentlemen? That's called resistance. And the reason why that's resistance is this 10,000 share seller out there. This is support. And when you have a support, you should probably have the other 10,000 share buyer out there. Guess what? Do you see a buyer out there? Do you? No. I don't see a buyer out there. So if there's no buyer, if there's no demand, what happens? Does it go up or down? Well, this is the buyers. This is the sellers. This is the buyers. This is the sellers. Bid is the buys. Ask is the sells. It's going to go down. Exactly. And you know how, and by the way, you ready for another little quick trivia question? You want to see how people lose money? How much lower do you think it's going to go? Anybody Anybody could take a guess? Want to take a lucky guess? Can't sell or put fake orders? Absolutely. They can also put real orders too. If it breaks 1610, where's it going to go? It's probably going to go all the way down to here. To 1571. That's the only buyer I see. He's not even out here. So the stock's going to go down another 40 cents, like it or not. On 1,000 shares, that's $400. Can you afford a $400 loss? I don't think so. I'd rather take my loss now, right? How many times have you done a trade and says, you know what, I should have took my loss before. Now I'm stuck. I can't afford this loss. It's bigger than I can afford. This is what separates, being a trader and then gambling. Because you got to remember, trading, it's just a game. You just need to know how to play it. But what if a buyer shows up? Yeah, George, I'm not in the if business. You want to be in the if business? I mean, how do we know? What if? I'm not gonna judge my trading by an if. I'm gonna judge my trading by seeing this, the 10,000 share seller, by seeing that 10,000 share seller. That's why there was resistance levels there. That is what you have to look at. Question: did Fausto need to mention that the minimum $25,000 requirement? That's true, but that doesn't apply for everybody. How do you know they're real orders, Gary? Because they're out there, Gary. They're out there. They can get executed. 70% of the volume. One person can't control all 70% and put fake orders. And you know what? Maybe you're right, Gary. Sometimes it could be fake orders, meaning, and what do you mean by fake? That means he put an order out there and then he decided to cancel it. That could happen, Gary. Absolutely. But on the other hand, what happens if it's real? Right? What happens if it's real? I'd rather take that chance than somebody going out there and doing that. But what you're saying, Gary, that's where education comes in. That's where experience comes in. And that's a great question because I get that question all the time, And you know who's notorious for saying those type of things, Gary? People that are not traders. I got people tell me, oh, but I went to this school and they told me you can't believe this because they're all a bunch of liars. And you know what I tell them? Who was it? Who was it? Because first of all, is the person who told you, is he a trader? Is he a market maker? And why would he say that? Those are real orders. Can we lie to meet you in New York? Yes, absolutely, Phil. We have an office right in New York, an on-site training facility. You're more than welcome to stop by anytime you want. How do you trade gaps? Well, we didn't get to that yet. Look at you guys. I love these questions. They're great. Listen, as of right now, we just covered Basic 101. Basically, what I try to teach you is what I just taught you right now is just basic supply and demand. That's it. So if you believe in supply and demand, that is total view. Which a lot of you don't have. Now, let's go to the next thing. By the way, for all of you, you're all more than welcome and invited to come and watch me trade live in the market. I'll show you this stuff in real market conditions. By the way, has any of you ever seen me trade live in the market? Anyone ever see me trade? Have any of you ever seen somebody trade live in the market? Some of you, Paul. That's right, Paul. How are you doing? Okay, good. Well, you're all going to be getting a treat because I'm going to invite all of you to actually, eventually to come and see me trade live in the market. Let me just see something right here. Oops. There we go. I'll give you guys a link later to come and register and come and see me trade live. All right, but you got to wait till the end. All right. No, you don't have to leave home, Steve. You can do it from a luxury home. That's what's great about these webinars. All right. Now, let's talk about trading in the market. as I told you, the way how I got into education is that trading's a part-time job. And you could see right here that most of the action happened right in the first hour. You could see right here it just happened. And you could see right at 9:30 the stock goes from $20.40 up to $20.30 and it comes back down. And then you could see, you could have made money middle of the day, but you could see a lot of it is basically flat line. So a lot of the things that happen in trading happen right in the first hour and then the last hour. Greg has a question. Please answer my question about the basic rule of using total view before you go on. I don't know what you wrote. Could you write it in there again? Best times to trade? No. Best times to trade are not from 10 to 11 a.m. The best times to trade is right when my cyber clock. By the way, does anybody hear my cyber clock? The best times to trade are at 9:35 to 10:30, and then usually things retrace. Vernon, no, I'll be there in November. I'm usually at all of them. We just came back from Vancouver. We did the Vancouver Traders Expo, World Money Show there. But we'll be up in Toronto, New York, Orlando. We'll be in Vegas in November. I think we're taking a break right now. We've been all over the place actually just recently. But by the way, anybody interested in a mouse pad, I'll tell you at the end of the presentation if you guys are interested. To get one of our this is our number one best-selling items. It'll save you thousands. But the timing during the day is so crucial. It really, really is. You need to be focused at those times. So, Dave, there you go. Could you please state basic rule looking at a total view order size? You state that conclusion that markets will go down without explanation. Well, David, the way they go up and down is due to supply and demand. I mean, a lot of you know what you could do, Dave? You obviously have something that's a little more detailed. What I'm going to do for you, Dave, is at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you my personal email address. And what I want you to do is set up an appointment to call me. I'm going to talk to you personally, and I'm going to answer that question in great detail for you. Fair enough? Okay, because I'm going to do that for you. Getting back to so now let's talk about getting back to, and by the way, I have about 15 more slides to go, all right? So, I have like 15 more slides. I got about less than 30 minutes. So I know there's some great questions, but I really, 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 really want to get through these slides. So I apologize, but there's over almost 500 people in this webinar. I can't answer all the questions. So I really want to, let me get through these, and I'll try to answer them best as I can at the end of the presentation, okay? Because I know some people can't be here for the whole thing. Otherwise, I could be here for the next 2-3 hours. All right, let's get talking about charts. Now, I always find that, charts are great, but the problem is some people get too overwhelmed with charts. And they start adding all these bells and whistles and all these crazy indicators, and you just got to know how to do something. It's called the KISS method. Keep it super simple. And when I train my students, I really start off with a basic chart. You could see it nice and clean. And basically you look at total view, see if the orders are out there, make perfect sense, and then you could start implementing other things. But you can't put the carriage before the horse. So you have to learn how to keep things very, very simple. The KISS method. Keep it super simple. But charts, you got to remember, people get so overwhelmed, but you got to take a step back and realize, where does those buyers and sellers come from? And why do these supports and resistance levels get broken? And it goes back to the total view. Well, Greg, you know what? Everybody here needs to understand total view. It's not just 10 to 15 of you. Every single one of you. And by the way, Greg, that is just a fraction of understanding how the market works. You know, basically total view is like basically a carpenter's hammer. You know, now I need to teach you how to build on it. Which one of you will mention? How do you know they're fake orders? How do you know if they're refreshing? You know, how do you read time and sales? Are the orders getting executed? You know, this all comes along with education, but it all starts off with, you know, the basic stuff. Now, getting back to finding stocks is another simple, easy way to do it. Getting back, and one of them, of the things that you need, is your percentage gainers and movers. Now, let me ask you all, does anybody care what you trade? What's more important to you, what you trade or making money? What's more important? Making money, right? Absolutely. I mean, it's a dumb question, right? Both? Listen, Google, great stock, love it. You know, I got to go out there and risk $800,000 to do that. Or Tesla. I mean, Tesla was 10 times less money, and it was up a hell of a lot more. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to tell you a stock right now which was even better than Tesla today. You could have made more money, less risk, bigger reward. Did any of you guys hear of a stock symbol called, anybody have an execution system? I'm going to put it in here for you. TRMD. Did anybody see that stock today? TRMD? Keith, you did? Anybody hear about it? TRMD. Up 61% today. It started right at 9:30 at $3.50, and by 10 a.m. Eastern Time, it hit a high of $7.50. By the way, 2 days ago, the stock was $1. $1. $1. And it's up, it hit a high of $7.50. Okay? It went to $7.50 and it came back down to $5. Does anybody know why? Why did it hit $7.50? Well, you know what? Let me see if I could share my, I don't know if I could do this. I'm afraid if I do this, it's going to boot us out. I don't know how to share my window. Pump and dump? Mike, who cares? Did you make money? There's nothing wrong about pumping and dumping. At the end of the day, as long as you're not called holding the bag. But anyway, I don't know if anybody here has a chart. I assume everyone has their execution system. But what I want you to do is, if you have an execution system, I want you to go back on a yearly chart and look back on July 27th. On July 27th, the high of that day was $7.50. And what happened today, it shot up to $7.50 and backed right off. Do you know what made $7.50 a resistance level back in July 27th, everyone? Anyone have an idea? Resistance? But what makes resistance? Big sellers. Exactly. And guess what? You could have saw those big sellers on Total View. There was like 100,000 sure sellers sitting there and just dumping and dumping and dumping shares. And you had about a good 5 to 10 minutes, about 5 minutes, to see that actually happening, and you could have got out and sold it. It was clear as day. You could have saw that, you know, in the in Total View. Shot right up, boom, major resistance levels, didn't want to break it. You saw, and listen, some of you know this. You look at the chart and you says, oh, look, there's resistance a year ago at 750. And then you're like, well, is it going to break it? Is it not going to break it? You might sound like, you could sound like a genius and says, oh, I figured it out because I had resistance. Well, what made resistance back then? You ever hear program trading? Program trading is where computers had, these orders already defaulted to be out there. These are the things that you need to find, not stocks like Tesla. I'll give you a good one. I think one of you guys were talking about today. Anyone hear about the stock symbol? I'll bring it up. AFFY. Did you hear about that one? AFFY. Oh, yeah. Sixth biggest percentage gainer of the day. This stock was a $26 stock back in October. Then in February, it dropped to 16. In one day, it went from 16 down to $2. And in May, it was as low as 80 cents. But you know what? For some reason, big news been coming out, and the stock went from 80 cents to $2. Now, I don't know about you, but if I could buy a stock and make 100% of my money on the day, am I going to argue with that? I don't care what the company does. I'm not here to trade it because what's going on with it. I'm trading because I'm here to make money just like you. How about AT? I didn't see AT. Let me see. I was too busy with the other ones. Oh, AT. Oh, that was a beautiful one. I mean, I wish I could show you, but yeah, that's a great call, Ziggy. AT, great stock. Went from $4.50 up until 11 o'clock, went to $5.30, and then right in the last half hour, ran from $5.30 to $5.50. 20 cents move on 1,000 shares, $200 a day, 50,000 a year. I'll take it. And this is a stock that obviously was a $12 stock back in February and got crushed. So, by the way, they're there every day, ladies and gentlemen. And where do we find them? In our biggest percentage gainers and losers. Now, let me tell you where education comes in. Not every single one of these stocks are tradable. Not every one of them are going to have good spreads, good volume, good supply and demand, good dominating market makers. This is where education comes in. This is where I come and I teach you and say, okay, great, we found this stock, AFFY. What's Goldman Sachs doing? Is he the big dominating market maker? Is it Shearson Lehman? Is it Morgan's, is it Knight Securities? Is it First Boston? Are they outputting orders on Total View? Are they buying 100 on the bid and selling 10,000 on the offer? You know what I mean? Remember, they do some reverse psychology too. So these are things that are going to help you become a better trader. Here's a great stock, ACUR. This is something that we trade back in August. Look at this big mover. Look at that. It went from 220 to 330. I mean, if you just made your little day's pay there, you need to continue to trade it. ACUR, have no clue what it does. Don't care. It was a great winner, though. CSIQ. This is all in one day, by the way. Look at these stocks, how they make their moves. All day. Even on a swing trade. And by the way, don't look at it that it's ever too late to trade the stock. You know when it's too late? When the stock hits 4 o'clock. That's when it's too late. WBSN of 15% on the day. Soho, another big winner. Right in the after hours. Stock went from $40, 44 to 48. Reason why it backed off? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see, or a chart analyst to say there was resistance levels there. But the reason why that resistance was there is there was previous sellers. Was that a reverse split on T? No. That was no reverse split. That was actually a big mover. Soho is right now at 57. Yeah. Well, good news. CYOU, another big winner. Now, by the way, you could see, listen, don't take it a wrong way that says, oh, Fausto, you're trading cheap stocks. Listen, this is what my mentors taught me. They says, Fausto, when you deal with more expensive stocks, you deal with more experienced traders. And not only that, but you have to risk more money to do that. Why go out there and do that? Why you have to go compete against the best traders on Wall Street? TRMD was over $450 back in 2007. Talking about a haircut, huh? How's that stock working for you? Hey, hopefully that gives some life to some people still interested in Apple, right? Nah, Apple will never go that low. Listen, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever, ever, ever say that, okay? Because let me tell you, whatever happened with General Motors. Whoever thought General Motors would go out of business? How about our Canadian friends out there? Whoever thought that Nortel would go out of business? Don't ever, ever, ever underestimate these Enron, you know? Never say never. That's why traders always don't like to hold positions overnight. They're like, I'm not trusting this. MCI. Yeah, the list goes on and on and on. By the way, Apple, where was it? $700? How's that doing for you today? Back down to $400. You know, that ship has gone and sailed. I remember that stock $13. I know, I've been there, I've done that. I've been trading for almost 20 years. I've seen it. And let me tell you, for every one that went up to 700, you wouldn't even imagine how many actually went down that low. But by the way, so the point I'm trying to get to, ladies and gentlemen, is that when you're trading, there's a lot of great opportunities to make money in the market. And by the way, we trade these stocks every day. By the way, is anyone part of our trading room? We run a professional trading room. We trade these stocks all day long. We talk about forex, option strategies. Julie, you are? We have 3 instructors in there. You have me, you have Stephanie, you have Adam, you had Jarrett. Stephanie's great cookie. Yeah, Adam's great too, talking about forex and options. I mean, because we're professional traders. This is what we do all day. We were trained. We're from New York. We work for some of the biggest brokerage firms in the industry, some of the biggest prop trading firms, proprietary trading. We used to trade other people's the brokerage capital, you know. So, and by the way, I'll tell you at the end of this presentation, lady, if anybody wants to join and try our chat room, I'll tell you how you can do that. But we trade these stocks all day long, every day. And I'm usually done within the first 10, 15 minutes, and then I go and enjoy myself and teach people how to trade. But know what your profit goals are, daily, monthly. Be realistic. You know, do you ever really think about this? How many of you here are semi-retired? How many of you are out there and, you know, Social Security, now you just like to make a couple of $100? Well, do you ever really think about it? It doesn't take that much money to make a day's pay. You did 20 cents? 20 cents, you think it's hard to pull 20 cents out of the market? That's $200 a day. That's almost, over the course of the year, it's about $50,000 a year. I know, and I've been there, ladies and gentlemen. And believe it or not, for some of you, we've trained, I would say about 60 to 70% of all my students that I trained are people like you. You know, mom staying at home, you know, taking care of the kids. You know, great traders. You know, women are very disciplined. You know, and I could train you. You know, and we have women traders, great women traders that trade for us. We have hundreds of traders that trade in our trading room every day. And we mentor them and we work with them. But the thing is, we don't go out there and paint this big picture of these huge moves. Because you don't need those big moves. You only need those little moves to be consistent. Because whatever money you make, you can give it back and lose just as quickly. What I kind of teach my students is how to make a day's pay. Find that nice wave, catch that great wave on that tide, and then enjoy the rest of the beach day. That's the way you do it. Now, for some of you who don't know this, Cybertrain University was ranked #1 school 6 years in a row by Equities Magazine. Active Trader Magazine wrote a front-page article on me regarding about market maker traps. I got a lot of abuse from my fellow market makers. And if anybody wants to read this article regarding about market maker traps, feel free to email me, and I'll get it to you. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Let me give you my email address, faustop@ctucorp.com. I think it's on the next slide. Yeah, here you go. If anybody wants a copy of today's PowerPoint or want to read that article, take down my email address. Please don't spam me. You know, I'm giving my personal information. Feel free to copy my email and email me. And by the way, if anyone has any questions, also, I answer all my emails. You have to understand, want you guys to learn how to do this. I hate to see people lose money. There's no reason for it. There really isn't. You know, I'd rather you tell you the truth and let you know if trading's for you or not than you go out there and learn the hard way. It's just not worth it. It really not. Believe me, a couple extra, just the time of you being here, I know for a fact is going to save you thousands of dollars or make you think to realize, do I really have the right brokerage firm? Do I really have the right bells and whistles? And why are they not giving it to me? You must have so many questions going through your mind. Email me and I'll be happy to help you out with that. And also, by the way, I know one of you mentioned to me earlier that says, hey, why is that other guy special? Can I get an appointment? Yes. If you guys want to set up an appointment, you want to talk to me, you feel free, I'll be happy to. Just give me an email or call my office and schedule an appointment. I'll be happy to talk to you. And you don't have to be a student. I'm very, very open when it comes time to do that. I might not be able to talk to you tomorrow, but definitely not no different than making an appointment to the doctor is the same thing I'm going to be to you. You're interviewing me. I want to make sure you guys are doing the right thing. Now, also, for some of you who don't know this, we do education for some of the biggest brokerage firms in the industry. FXCM, Thinkorswim, TradeStation, Lightspeed, TD, Trade Monster. We actually had John Nigerian, Peter Nigerian, his brother, on last week on our Cyber Expo. I was actually pretty impressed. Those guys are very nice, good friends of mine. But we do education for all of them. Now, let me tell you a couple of ways how I could educate you guys, and you can learn how to do this. We have two things I want to offer all of you. We have a 7-disc DVD set. It's about 10 hours. Everything that I covered and that I train you, that I was talking about, if you want to learn it in more detail, we're giving a package of $3.99 to get that DVD set. I'll give you the link in about a minute. And also, if anybody wants to join our professional trading room for $10, literally just for $10, the price of a New York cup of coffee, basically, and you can cancel whenever you want. You can come and join us in our cyber group. I'll give you the link for that if you guys want to join us. It's a great professional trading room. Just click on it, and we'll be able to get you registered for that. I think I can put that up here. There we go. And for $10, you can join our professional trading room. It runs all day. And once again, you can cancel it whenever you want. Also, we teach on-site online classes. Talk to an education advisor if you want to learn Forex futures, technical analysis, one-on-one coaching. Feel free to contact us, and we'll be happy to tell you more about it. Talk to one of our education advisors at CyberTrade University. Be happy to tell you a little bit more. Now, now that we're just about finished here, what I like to do is answer some questions. So, just want to see if anyone has any questions here that I could answer. How much is the second month, Craig? It's $49.95. It's $50 after that. But once again, you can cancel after the first day if you feel like you don't want to. Did I trade TRMD? No, I didn't. I actually just traded Tesla. I made enough money in Tesla from the overnight trade that, I know the traders in the trading room, in the cyber group, were trading it. They did pretty well on it. Any other questions? What's the realistic, Larry's a good question. What is the realistic percentage of account day? Listen, Larry, everybody's pockets are different. And, you don't need a lot of money to trade. You really don't. I mean, think about it. Is $50,000 enough for you for a year's salary to work part-time? I mean, because it is a part-time job. It's only $200 a day. MP says, you said you were many champions. What made you give you the edge? What gave me the edge? Very simple. Because I was a market maker. And I was an actual professional trader. A lot of these schools, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, but some of these schools are not really professional traders. The DVDs? Yes, you do get if you do register for get the DVDs, you do actually get the the trading room. And let me see if I can give you the, where's my DVDs? I gotta give you the link for that, where to go. Trading tools, courses. Oh, there we go, course DVDs. We keep moving things around. We just launched a new social website. I don't know if anybody here is a member, but it's actually pretty cool. There's the link if anybody wants the DVD set. Do you teach very basic? No, Natalie, absolutely not. These courses I teach basic, but I do get more advanced, and I actually think anybody, to me, everybody is a beginner. About the dark pools, I mean, people make dark pools bigger than what it really is. You know, that's the least of your problems, Chris. Dark pools are just people trading, you know, within the brokerage firms, and they're just filling orders within the company. That is not your concern. Your concern that you should know is the high frequency trades. Don't worry about the dark pools. They don't hurt you. The high frequency trades, you better know where they are, because what I taught you and what I said, you better know where those orders are. Because think about it. How many times have you traded? In which, by the way, we talk about all this stuff in our trading room, and in these DVDs I will show you how to do it. I mean, but you got to look at it. If you believe that these orders, and you've been in stocks, and you wonder, why do you buy it? And every time you buy a stock, the thing goes down. As soon as you sell it, it goes up. You got to know how to play the game. I don't trade futures, Randy. Well, you know, I need enough money to trade, you know, Cisco and Microsoft and Google and Apple. You don't need a lot of money. I mean, TRMD was, you know, AFFI was it's $1 stock. TRMD was a $5 stock. I mean, they're not a lot of. You don't need a lot of money out there. Do I trade futures? Sometimes, Sam. Not all the time. Do you have a level 2 techniques part of your champion edge? Well, level 2, just to let you know, is going to be, they're getting rid of level 2, and it's going to be total view. Total view gives you over 20 times more data than level 2. JP, we have a great Forex class. Adam teaches it, and he talks about it. By the way, we're actually doing a traders competition for a Forex. So, by the way, if you join our chat room, Adam will tell you more about it. We're actually giving away $5,000 at Cyber Trading University for doing a Forex event with us. You know, like I said, if you register for our chat room, you could actually participate in it. Who doesn't need $25,000 a day trade in equities? Well, there's prop trading firms. There's people who trade in different countries. Doesn't apply for everybody. Does Congress have to follow the rule of 25,000? I mean, Zach, like I said, you don't need the 25,000 to trade, you know, to date. You do it for day trading, but once again, there are other ways that you could trade without doing that. You could do it a prop trading account. You could, you know, once again, if that is your concern, you know, send me an email and I'll tell you other ways that you can do it. But chances are, it's like there are other people here that from other countries don't have that doesn't apply. And if it does apply to you, you can also swing trade. By the way, there are things that some of you can afford to trade that you should and shouldn't. A couple of questions here. This goes in the system like the cut trend. 5. You recommend scanning lower price stocks? Well, I like to trade stocks, obviously, with the less expensive ones, because I'm dealing with less experienced traders, less capital, and if I want to, I could buy more of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care what this company does. I'm not going to own it when I'm done. I go to sleep at night. All I care about is my family is depending on me to put food on the table, and if I'm going to go out there, I mean, listen, let me put it in this way. Everybody wants that $1 million house, right? Everybody wants to buy the $1 million house. But if I'm in the real estate business and I could buy a house that I could buy in a bad area and I could probably triple my money but I have the money to buy $1 million house. But this is a business. This is not, I'm not buying it because the name, I'm buying it to make money. If I can go out there and risk less and do it with and buy other house and flip them all day, I mean, I love to buy a Ferrari, but if I can buy Hondas and make more money, I'd rather trade Hondas. You know what I mean? I don't use Fidelity, Michael, so I can't tell you. I know I really don't, and I can't really say any good or bad things about Fidelity, but I can tell you this, there are a lot better companies that I would recommend than Fidelity, depending on what kind of trader you are. Interactive brokers, they got inexpensive tickets, but only thing I could say is that they don't have really good support. I don't really do business with them also, so I can't say anything good or bad about them. We do business not with TD. We do a lot of education, Sam, with TD, which is Thinkorswim. They got a great staff that works there. We do a lot of education. I actually do some speakings for Thinkorswim. You might see me if anyone has an account on Wednesday on the web. We actually have some good training courses, mechanics courses on that platform, but they're a very good company. Which, by the way, that's very important to me, and for you, I hope the same thing. Going out there and being a beginner, we all need as much support as we can. Listen, why are you guys here? The reason why you're here is not just to learn. You need the support. You need that support. They don't offer total view, but you know what? If you send me an email, Gary, or if you're in our trading room, we'll show you where you can get it. It's you can get it right through the exchanges if it's through Archipelago or through NASDAQ. They have level 2, Kurt, but level 2 is not the same. Remember, total view is giving you 20 times more data. Which, by the way, like I said, if you have any of these questions, just send me an email me at fausto@ctucorp.com. It's not that much, $15. Peanuts. It costs you about 50 cents a day. To see 70% of the volume, I think it's worth it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I think my time is up. It's been about an hour, and I hope you guys learned a lot. And you know what? I really, really look forward to see you guys tomorrow. Now, if you are part of our trading room, if you do join our $10 special, we are going to be doing some live trading. We trade all day. I'll be in there tomorrow, so I'm going to be showing you some of these stocks. I'm going to really be focused on what's going to be happening with this TRMD and this AFFY. I'm going to watch what's happening in the pre-market. We do a lot of pre-market trading in our trading room. So once again, if you want to see how we trade, try us out. I think you'd be really, really happy. All right? Can we make a payment of $10? If you need to, definitely. Give me a call and I'll put you on a payment plan, $1 a day. Okay. All right. Listen. First of all, I'd like to thank Steve Bigelow for having me. He's always been great talking to his audience. He's done a great job. You guys are very, very well connected with somebody that really knows his stuff. Actually, it's pretty funny. I don't know if Steve knows this, but Stephanie, one of our instructors in our trading room, does use one of Steve's moving averages. And I know some of you here are students of ours, know that. And the reason why us educators, we like to stick together because we know that we all could contribute something together. And and we always learn from something. And I learned something from Steve. As good as a trader as I am, good traders never stop learning. And that's the key. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, for myself and everyone at Cyber Trading University, just remember, you have to learn before you could earn. I'd like to thank Candlestick Forum, thanks Pat Johnson, and thanks Steve Bigelow for having me. And I hope we look forward to hear from all of you. If you want to book an appointment, please give us a call. Be happy to talk to every one of you. Send me an email, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow in my professional trading room. Thanks again. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, everyone. Becky, all of you. Thanks, everybody from Candlestick Forum. Have a pleasure and wonderful evening, and good luck in trading. Have a great day.
Thank you, Fausto. Once again, very good information. Again, Fausto is a trader and knows what he's doing, so you're going to get some good information from him. So with that, everybody have a good evening. Thank you for showing up tonight, and we'll see you in the chat rooms.